I spent a lot of years trying to fix myself, trying to study and deeply immerse myself in my studies so I can just obtain some type of wisdom to help me take action. And it was years of this constant cycle. And I've been through the ups and downs. And I've survived these years so I can just give you the blueprint as simply as I can. If you want 2025 to be your freaking year, I am going to break it down in the best way that I can, in the most articulate, the most detailed, but the easiest to digest way that I know how to. And I'm going to cover a variety of topics. If you're broke with no money and you want money, if you're lost with no aim, if you're hurt with trauma, if you're trying to discover your purpose, if you're lonely, if you're ambitious but you haven't taken action, if you want more for your life, if you are craving love, if you have no support, and if you are currently going through a lot of pain, I'm going to help you. And I'm going to start one by one. I'm going to cover all of this. But I need you to remember something, that whichever one of these topics hit home for you, digest it and rinse and repeat. Listen to it again and again. Memorize it, fully integrate it, and take the actions that I lay out accordingly. And you will experience a breakthrough year, a year of unimaginable accomplishments, a year where you'll look back in December and you're like, what the heck happened? I promise you I'll do my best, but I need you to do your part, which is try to digest, memorize it, and take action with what I've given you. First, if you are broke with no money, and along this video, I will never ask you to do anything that I did not do. If you are broke with no money, you have to use what you have. Here's what you have to do. You have to assume that you're not going to get lucky anytime soon, and that the only way you're going to get out of this situation and circumstance is by brute force. Do not wait for a magical, fairly odd parent to come and feed you. You need to change. And you need to put in the hours. You're not going to get a lot of sleep. You're going to probably run off stimulants and caffeine. You're not going to be the healthiest. Your diet may be garbage. But you need to get to your first 100,000. Or at least 50,000. I know that sounds like an unimaginable number and it's so far away, but you have to do everything you can. Don't assume that you're going to get saved. You need to push yourself against a wall right now and say, I'm screwed. Like I'm freaking screwed. Like nothing's coming to save me. I just have to go. So if you are dead broke with no money, step one, learn to run off 3 to 6 hours of sleep. If it's 3, then you take 30-minute incremental naps throughout the day, or break it down into multiple 15 minutes to try to recover. So that by the end of the day, you've accumulated at least 5 or 6. If you sleep 2 hours, same thing. I need you to start applying to jobs. If you want to do something, the best bet is your day job should be a job that helps you develop skills that will help you do whatever you want to do. If you want to be a personal trainer, probably work at a gym throughout the day. If you're into fitness, probably work at a gym. If you enjoy videography, maybe go to a camera store. If you enjoy reading, maybe a library. Whatever it is that you desire, what you like, whatever you want, find the 9 to 5 that matches. And if you can't, then just apply for anything, for crying out loud. But you need a main job. This will be your 9 to 5. Then you're going to pick up another job. This will be your 5 to 12. And that means after 12 or 1, if you can pull 2 shifts back to back, now you'll get off work around 1 a.m. And you have from 1 to 9, which means that's 8 hours. You can spend 2 hours or 3 hours immersifying yourself into your deep work. Start planning. If you really want to become a videographer, after those 2 day jobs, you go home and you study for 3 hours. Then you sleep. And then you wake up and do it again. Now the times vary. You might have to pick up 3 or 4. Whatever you do, find a way to stay busy every day to where the only free time you have is 1 to 3 hours to study what you truly want to do. If you want to trade options and invest in the market, those 3 hours of free time that you get after you work those 2 jobs that you come home, spend that time studying videos, books, write out a plan, a detailed plan, journal. If you want to become an influencer, you got to study the algorithm. You got to study all this stuff. You got to study the greats. You got to study people, short form and long form. How can you convert people from long form to short form content? How can you give value? If you want to start a business, or 3 hours are studying business, the elements that make up a business. What's a business? It's having something that people want. They'll give you money for it. I don't care what you want to study. Work 2 jobs. You got to find a full-time job, and you're going to find another job that'll give you the same hours. This is your graveyard shift. You're going to freaking work 16 to 20-hour days. You got to do what you can. If you can squeeze a 3rd job in there, do it. You need to do whatever you can to get to a certain amount of number. Whatever number you think is good enough for you to leave your job, use that money, go all in on whatever you want to do, leverage the money so that you can get more money, whatever that is. That means if you've done the math and you need $25,000 to start a business, it costs $25,000 to start a business for some reason, then do it. If supplies are $25,000, whatever, to save money, to have enough to just leave the job, do what you want to do, and have enough as a safety net just in case things don't work out. Now that you're working 2 jobs, tell no one your plans. And you have to be humble and not think that you're better than you actually are. Success is giving to those people. It's handed to people who can keep doing the work without thinking they're better than they actually are. Be humble. Eat the dirt, swallow the glass in these moments. Feel this pain, because in a few years, you're going to look back, or even in 1 year, you'll look back and be like, damn, those moments were tough. If you need help waking up to go to work, you are going to purchase pre-workout on Amazon for $20. You are going to put a scoop in water, shake it up, have it right by your phone as you sleep, so that when you wake up and that alarm turns on, you are going to pop it open and just chug. As you chug that pre-workout, you will get goosebumps, and it will taste so nasty that you will naturally just get going. If you need help waking up early, you do that. Next step, you go to the restroom and immediately turn on the light, grab a toothbrush, start brushing your tongue. And when I say brush your tongue, brush deep, I am not joking. As you brush deep, blood will flush to your head and you'll want to gag. You will be more alert, more aware. Whatever you do, don't snooze that alarm and go lay down. Move, move, move. You might not have the means to train or eat healthy. During these moments, it's okay. During moments where I had nothing, I was not training, I was not eating healthy. Noodles and canned beans and tuna kept me alive. Do not spend $1 on anything besides gas, rent, and food. Only shop at the grocery store and buy things on discount. If you need protein, beans are your best friend. Canned beans are your number one friend. Ground beef in bulk and freaking rice. If you have money to afford sriracha, then do it. If you don't, then you don't need sriracha. You need one plate, one fork, and one spoon that you reuse. If you can't buy dish soap, then you scrub it with your hands or just a scrubber. No clothes, no going out, no alcohol, nothing, no smoking, zero. If you do not need it to survive, then you do not buy it. You are going to scrap every single penny, no matter what it takes. Every dime. You're not going to spend on anything. Not the t-shirt that's on sale, not the hoodie that you want. You're going to wear the same clothes in your closet. The same clothes, the same underwear, the same socks. I have enough money to buy new underwear. I still wear underwear that have holes in them. Despite me getting to a financial point in my life where I can afford new clothes, I wear the same things because I am so used to doing it. Some of my socks have holes in them. I've been wearing the same shoes to the gym for the past 3 years. Nothing unless it's food, rent, gas. Stack your money. Work these jobs, stack your money, and as you work, you need to develop some type of skill. You develop a skill after the 2 jobs or 3, where you have about 6 hours to sleep. You need to cut that down to 5 or 4 and spend those 2 hours that you cut down studying. Study. If you want to learn how to sell and acquire the skill of sales, watch videos. You don't need to afford books right now. It's okay, you can watch videos all day. Don't think a book is a bad investment, but you have internet access. If you have internet and a phone, you can just watch videos. That's free. You can watch a lot. Volume. Learn all the scales, all the sales and negotiation tactics as you can. If you want to acquire a different skill, then you need to watch YouTube. They have PDF books. Read through your screen. When I couldn't afford books, I was reading PDF. If I wanted to read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, I'd go on Google, How to Win Friends and Influence People PDF, and you'll find it right there. And you can just read through your phone. You need in these moments to develop a strategic plan that's definite. And you need to have aim and you need to take action when you devise this plan, because a well put together plan with no definite purpose will fail. A plan that isn't put together, but you're going with purpose and action and you're definitive, will always be better. This plan doesn't have to be high resolution. You don't have to know every detail. Just identify what you want to do to make sure that money comes in your pocket. If you could have a magical godparent come and give that to you, what would you want to do in order for money to come in? Define it and define it well. When I was doing a startup, or it wasn't my startup, but when I was working for somebody and they had a startup, all I wanted to do was wake up, the market opens at 6:30, trade, make money, spend the rest of my day doing whatever I want. And I would not let that go. I said that. I told myself, you do not have to work hard for money. There is a way for you to leverage money. You just have to spend time developing a skill and learning to leverage it. I don't believe in hard labor for money. I don't believe in that. There is a way. But it takes time to find that path. And once you find that path, you have to become a master at whatever it is. For me, it was options trading. I can press buttons and make money. I could make annual salaries in a day, monthly salaries in a single day. But I had to learn. I had to read. I had to practice. I had to lose a lot of money. But I never let go of this vision. I didn't know what I was going to do throughout the rest of my day, but all I knew was I wanted to wake up, train, trade, make money, have the rest of my day so that I'm free. I would not let that go. I wouldn't let it go. I didn't have everything figured out, but I knew that I wasn't going to let that vision go. And that's the reason I'm able to do what I do now, because I didn't let that vision go. I held on to it for dear life. If all you want to do is sell to make money, you don't let go of that. If all you want to do is make content and somehow make money, don't let that go. If all you want to do is be a real estate agent or an investor, don't let that go. Identify what you want to do with your day so that money can come in. And if you identify that, then you need to figure out what are the actionable steps that you have to take in order to make that a reality. What do you have to do every day on repeat? For me, when I was broke, I had to work for someone on repeat. I had to suffer. I had to invest time. And on the off chance that I had time to myself, I was learning. I was planning. I said, I'm gonna make money through trading somehow. And with the rest of my time, I'm going to make content, and I can stick with the content game long enough because I'm playing the game in decades. Right now, I only have 11,000 subscribers. In 5 years, that number is guaranteed to be higher because I'm playing the game in 5 to 10 years. In 10 years, it'll be at millions. Guaranteed. Not because it's a delusion or it's a dream or it's just me positively affirming my reality. It's because I know what it takes to just get to a goal, which is doing the same old boring thing over and over and over without stopping or thinking that I'm better or more deserving. So if you have no money, work. You might have to use caffeine to help you get through these tough days. The cleanest way to get caffeine is coffee. Screw the energy drinks. Coffee. Black coffee. You're going to probably lose weight. You're going to be living off noodles, rice, beans, and ground beef, if you can even afford ground beef. Do not buy anything on Amazon. Don't buy nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unless it's gas, rent, food. Never eat out. Discounts at grocery stores. Cook everything at home. You only need one pot, one pan. When I was in the military and I didn't have money, I had one pot, one pan. We didn't have a stove. It was one of those pans and pots that you could plug into a wall and it can heat up. You can adjust the temperature. I had a hot pot plugged into the wall. It was like $17. If you don't want to spend money on your electricity bill or your gas bill, you don't want to turn the stove on, buy an $18 hot pot. I ate frozen chicken nuggets for a long time. I would throw it on the pot, let it warm up, eat it. I didn't drive anywhere I didn't have to. I found the quickest route to where I had to go to save gas. You're not gonna make it in a year or two, but you will make it in 5. This first year is the recovery year where you get back on your feet. And after this, you've built momentum and you can take a dose of pain and your stress tolerance has increased. So now you become someone more capable of enduring more. So you tackle more. And now you're not fearful because you know what it feels like to have nothing. No cologne, nothing. No bar soap, nothing. I only use shampoo. And I found the cheapest soap that you can freaking buy. You go on Amazon, you search up African bar soap, African black soap. That is the cheapest soap you can buy. And it's natural and organic for any of my health nerds out there. You buy a pound, you'll get a big brick. It doesn't smell like anything. Keeps you clean. And you cut it up into little bars. You rub it on your hand. That's your shampoo. That's your face wash. Scrub your pits. Scrub your private parts. Done. You don't need Gucci. You don't need Versace. You don't need Old Spice. Nothing. No deodorant. If it costs money, none. Zero. Like nothing. You don't have the luxury to spend like this right now. You need to think that unless I can get 50K within X amount of time, I'm going to die. Scrap every penny, every single penny. Stack it up. And I'm not saying to be a saver, but you need to accumulate a decent amount of money. If you want to start a business, then you need to do research on what type of business you want to start. If it's e-commerce, what's the product? Contact the manufacturer. Hey, go to Alibaba. Alibaba. Whatever you want to sell, Alibaba has it. Download Canva to design your brand. If you want to sell caffeine pills, you're going to go on Alibaba, search up caffeine pill, DM the manufacturer how much for X amount they will quote you, and that's how much you have. You go on Canva, you design a logo, a brand, figure out what other brands do. You need the ingredients, you need the warnings, you need the weight and the size of the container, you need a name, you need an image and a color, the nutritional facts, a description. Then you go on Alibaba and search up sticker maker, label, custom label. And then you'll contact the manufacturer, and then you'll download that image on Canva, and you will forward that to the manufacturer and say, can you make a sticker this for this product right here? And then you'll send them the freaking caffeine pill bottle you want. And then you'll get an inventory. Then you sell, you'll start up a website, you'll do all this stuff. That's for you to research on your own time. But you need to stack up enough money to where you're like, okay, I need this much for my first run. I can afford 500 bottles. That will make me X amount. It'll cost me this amount. Here's how I'm going to sell it. Here are the videos I'm going to make. I'm going to make a TikTok account, Instagram account. I'm going to make videos, boom, 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 boom. That's for you to figure out on your downtime. Get enough money to where you're like, this is how much I need to get out of this, to quit my jobs and to make enough money to where I'd never have to return to a job. And if in the case that you fail, you can go back to a job and do it again because you've done it before. Most people, they never make it because they never start. And most people never make it because they quit before they can see the results. I had a friend, he had a startup and it was 4 years of difficulty. He mentioned to me that he never saw past a certain number. And out of nowhere, out of the blue, one day, he created a viral video. And within 7 days, he saw over 500,000 in sales. It took 4.5, 5 years of pain for one day to pay off. You never know when your lucky day can come. And you can never miss a day to be lucky if you just show up. He endured 5.5 years for that one day, that one video that went viral. Sales kept coming to his phone, wouldn't turn off. Notifications back to back. Whatever you want to do, that is where you'll research after your 2 jobs. You'll spend that time researching. Use YouTube. You can literally just ask the question on YouTube and you'll figure it out. How to start a business. Go on YouTube, Google it, and you'll figure it out. How to start e-commerce store. You will figure it out. Payment processor. Platform to sell. Product to sell. That's it. Have something to sell that people want to buy. Have a platform to list it. Connect a payment processor. Make videos. Redirect people that watch the video to the platform. It's that simple. And it gets more complex the deeper you dive in. But it's the fundamentals. I am not asking you to do anything I didn't do. During moments where I had nothing, those were my training phases. I was sitting back. I was programming my brain and I was just training, looking at people more successful than me and saying, it's my time soon. Not now, but once I get past this, it's mine. And I was studying and I was studying and I gave up so many times. I gave up so many times. And I felt like I wasn't going to do it. But I was still breathing and I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to freaking walk and try. And let's see. Learn from my mistakes. Have more definite aim than I did. I was just drifting aimlessly. Life put me on the path. Had I had more definite aim, I would have put myself on the path. And I would have gone a lot farther. I would have became a lot better. To recap, don't spend money on anything. Work 2 to 3 jobs. Learn to run off 6 hours of sleep or less. If you have 6 hours of sleep, cut it down to 5. Use that hour to study. If you can run off 5, cut it down to 4. Use those 2 hours to study. If it's hard for you to wake up, purchase pre-workout. Shake it up in a bottle or in a cup. Have it by your bedside, your nightstand, next to your phone. The moment that alarm comes up, in your brain, you need to say, reach for this bottle, drink. As you drink, I promise you, the moment you drink that, you'll get goosebumps all over. It will taste nasty, and there you go. Momentum is given to you. Go into the restroom, start brushing your tongue. Screw everything else. Brush your tongue. Brush it to where you want to gag. Blood will rush to your head. You'll be more awake. Get in that shower. If you are ballsy and you want to do a cold shower, do it. Get in the shower. Boom. Now you're awake. Now we're going. Now we're going to go to the job. We're going to work. Don't discuss your ideas with no one. Don't discuss your plans with no one. Don't feel obligated. Don't think you're better than you actually are. Stay there, work, observe. Stay there, work, observe. If your work allows you to wear headphones while you work, then you are going to listen to things, videos, podcasts, audiobooks relating to whatever it is that you want to do. The entire time. You get off that job and do not spend money eating out while you're at work. Either fast all day till you go home, or you prep all your food. Meal prep boxes are not expensive at Walmart. You can get like 20 or 30 boxes for very cheap. You just need protein and you need carbs. Rice, beans, ground beef, salt. That's it. You're going to stack money, figure out how much you need to quit your jobs. For me, $50,000 was enough for me to quit my jobs. For me to never work again. Because I knew with $50,000 I could make it happen. That's all I needed, $50,000. To a degree, even 25 or less. 25 would have been safer. 50 is a lot safer. And you just have to have the balls to go. Because worst case is it doesn't work out, you have no money, you work again like you always have, and you'll be just fine. Best case is, holy crap, you escaped. I would take those chances any day of the week. On one side, I make it. On one side, I don't. And I just go back to doing something that I know how to do. Easy. Study. Obsess over what you want to do. Now, that's if you're broke with no money. Next, if you are lost with no aim in life, we need to understand a few things. If you are lost, it is because you are bombarded with options and you have no idea what to do. And if you have an idea of what to do, you just don't know how to do it. It's that simple. If you are lost, It's because you have not taken actionable steps. Because you can't, you have no aim. If you want to get out of this cycle of being lost, you need to identify what to do. That's step one. Identify what to do. You can figure out what to do by searching up Ikigai. Hopefully I said that right. That's Ikigai. It's a Chinese framework to identify what you should do. And it's in the middle of what you're good at, what you can be paid for, what the world needs, and something else I forgot. In the center is what you do. Figure out what you're good at. Start there. You're good at something. You may be good at video games. You may be good at designing. You're good at something, I promise you. Don't think you're not good at anything. You are good at something. There's something you do better than anyone else. And if there is not anything that you think you're good at, then you are even in a better situation because now you get to choose what you want to be good at. If you want to be good at speaking, now you get to study on how to speak. If you want to be good at writing, now you get to practice writing. Now the choice is yours. So if you don't think you're good at anything, even better. Even better. Because now you get to choose. Literally anything you want. Once you do that, enter this stage. Find what to do. Study and obsess over it. Isolate yourself, enter solitude, become a master at it, get so good at it, know it through and through, and find a way to give that to the world. And if you can do those things, you will embark on a very meaningful journey. If you have no aim, if you don't know what you're supposed to do in life, no one does. We never do. I've been winging it my whole life. You don't need it figured out. You just need to have the guts to keep trying every day as things just start piecing themselves together through your effort. I'm telling you, if you just put in effort, things will just magically solve itself. I don't know how, I don't know why, but if there is effort, the pieces of the puzzle will come together. You just have to try, for crying out loud. That's all you have to do. I'm sitting here and I'm begging you to just try. You don't have to win yet. You just have to try. If you try to figure it out, you will inevitably figure it out. Either through volume or through leverage or through optimizing. One of those three ways. If you don't figure it out, then you're going to do so many things to where you figure out what not to do, and then that will help you figure it out. If you don't have it figured out, you can leverage something. If you don't have it figured out, you can just do something long enough to where it just happens to work out. Do not underestimate the power of consistency and effort. That's literally how greatness begins. Also, don't think you are obligated to do anything like everyone else. You don't have to be a motivational speaker and get on stage. You don't have to be a best-selling author. Sometimes what you want is what you want. If you just want enough money, a lot of money to take care of your family, you'll find a way. I promise. I guarantee you it will come to you if you try. I'm willing to bet my life behind that statement. So try. If you're hurt, next one, if you're hurt with trauma and you have trauma, you need to understand that trauma is simply an experience that created an influx of emotion so deep that it embedded itself into memory. That's what memory is. It's an experience with an emotional tie. You remember moments in your life and you remember those scenarios and those images because there was a deep emotion linked with that. If you're traumatic If you've been through a traumatic childhood and you have a lot of trauma and triggers, that's okay. Step one, stop blaming people. Yes, it may be your uncle's fault, or your brother, or your sister, or your dad, or your mother, or your lack of resources. And yes, it might be your community, your neighborhood. It might be the people that you grew up with. Yes, it probably is, and I'm sure you can justify why your life is in shambles because of it. But look, it starts with you saying it's my fault, because wherever you point the blame finger, and it's a quote I got from Hormozy, wherever you point the blame finger is where power goes. You point the blame finger to these people, they have power. If you can just say everything in my life is my fault, then you regain that power. If you are traumatized and you're in so much anguish, start by giving power back to you and face those memories. Recall them. If you can't think of a moment in your past because it's so traumatic, you're not healed. It's not good to run away. When you run away from revisiting memories that were painful, it's kind of like leaving your room dirty, even though you're going to sleep in the room again. Yeah, your room's dirty. You don't want to pick up the clothes and clean it up. So you're going to avoid it by leaving the house, going and driving, going to the beach, going to the gym, going anywhere. But guess where you return to? You return home. And guess where you sleep? In the bed. In your room. That's dirty. That's what it is when you run away from your problems. You are temporarily escaping something that you inevitably have to return to. In those silent moments at night where the crickets are chirping, where the stars are bright, where you look out your window, in those moments, those memories will return to you. Whether you like it or not, you will get fragments of those memories that just seep throughout your day. It's your job to be able to face these memories, these experiences that were painful, to where you can speak about it, to where you can talk about it, to where you can revisit it and it's like, yeah, that happened to me. All my traumatic experiences in my life, the things I saw as a kid, the things I experienced as a kid. There was a moment when I was 19 that I just didn't want to remember. I forgot. And I would lie and I would tell people I don't really remember my childhood. That was a delusion. It was my way of trying to forget. Truth is, I always remembered. And I was just running away until one day in the military, all alone, in that room, on that bed, late at night, and I could not sleep. They all came at once. All the memories. I'm like, well, damn. Maybe I'm more screwed up than I thought. Face them. Accept that happened to you. It's okay. It sucked. Like, it was terrible. I can't believe it happened to you. That's terrible. But it did. Are you going to be a victim and say, because this happened to me, I am unable to do X, Y, and Z? Or are you going to be the person that goes, this happened to me, but I'm in control, and I get to determine what happens next? This is the chapter where it's no longer because of my circumstances. They no longer call the shots. I call the shots. Revisit your memories. Truly let it just flow. Let those painful noises and those images and those experiences come to you. Feel the pain. You might cry if it was that traumatic. You might feel disgusting. But it's necessary to heal. And if you can revisit those memories and even speak about it with someone, that's how you know you've healed. But if it gets brought up and you're just like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, that's a sign you're not healed. To heal, you must face it and take care of it right there, on the spot, down to the root. Next one. If you are trying to discover your purpose, you need to start by understanding there is no one purpose. There's a lot of purposes. Every day you wake up, there's a purpose, a new one. Every person you meet, there's a purpose. Everything you say, there's a purpose. Every place you go, there's a purpose. There is an infinite amount of purposes in your life. When you say, what's my purpose? What you're trying to say is, what am I supposed to actually do since I can do almost anything? So it's acknowledgement that you can probably do anything, which creates a bombardment of a lot of options and you're overwhelmed to where you have no idea what to choose, what path to choose, because there's hundreds of paths and you're like, well, which one? Which is a good thing, because if you trace it back, it's because you acknowledge that there's a lot of paths, which means you acknowledge you can do it. So not knowing your purpose is actually predicated on the acknowledgement that you can do anything, which is good. That's called belief. That's what belief is. If you don't know, if you can't discover your purpose, it's because you know you can do anything. And there's just so many options. That's good. To discover your purpose, you have to start by saying there's a lot of purposes. There is no one thing. Rephrase that question and say, well, what do I want to do in my life for the rest of my life without getting paid a single dollar? What would I choose to do if money and fame were no tangible thing? What would I do? Would I read for the rest of my life? Would I exercise? Would I make videos? What would I do? Would I write poems? Your true purpose is the very thing that you decide to do that impacts other people. That'll be a more grandiose purpose, but not a final purpose. There's purpose in every part of life, every day, every second, every interaction. There is no one thing. There are many purposes. So don't get bombarded by the options. Just choose one. Choose one. And you will find what to do when you can just help others. Once you discover the thing that you can do to help others, the path will reveal itself to you. I make these YouTube videos because I wanted to help, and in doing so, the channel's grown, and I get reinforced that I'm able to help. And the path was shown to me where everything just somehow just pieced together. And I don't know why. I definitely don't deserve it. But it's happened in my life. I'm not saying this is how it is. I'm saying this is what happened in my life. Find a way to give value to people. What can you do to really help somebody or a lot of people? And in doing so, I'm telling you, things will just figure itself out. You can live for yourself and get everything you want, or you can live for others and help others, and you'll find everything that you need. There is no grand purpose. There is no grand purpose. Whatever you are meant to do is the thing that you decide to do. I can decide to go to the liquor store right now, grab a bottle of alcohol, drink all of it, go in the car, and start driving, and I will decide the outcome. I'm sure I can change my life drastically if I do that. Your purpose is in the thing that you desire most, that can help the most amount of people, or just help people in general. That's where your purpose lies. It's in helping. Because you're going to die one day. You need to leave this earth just a little bit better than when you came into it. So what can you do? What's the skill? What can you teach people to make sure that they have it a little bit easier than you did when you were coming up? Next one, if you are lonely, it is okay. If you're lonely, it's because no one likes you, or no one cares about you, no one understands you, or you chose it. We are never truly ever alone. There's always someone in our life to keep us company. They may not understand us, but they sure are company. We're never truly alone, never meant to truly do anything alone. That's not how the world works. And if you are the rare percentage of the people that are truly alone, that's devastating. I'm sorry. God will give you someone in your life at the lowest points. You'll have a companion, a partner, a friend, someone to just stick around so that you're not fully alone. Someone you can always speak to, someone that you can always vent to. People are there. You just have to have the courage to reach out. I don't know why you're alone, but if you feel alone, it's probably because you don't feel understood. There's no worse feeling than feeling like we're not understood. That's the loneliest feeling. We truly feel alone when we perceive the world to never be able to understand us. Our loved ones don't understand us. When I wanted to leave the military and I was telling my dreams to my brother, my mother, my father, no one understood. They were encouraging me to stay, not chase my dreams and go after my goals. I felt so alone because they didn't get it. They didn't understand me. And I get it. If you feel like no one understands you, it's okay. You just have to switch it to no one understands me, which is good, because if they understood me, they would be like me. And if they were like me, then I wouldn't really be special. It's okay to be misunderstood. No one's lived your life. You shouldn't expect them to know you through and through. Only you lived your life. You should understand yourself. Don't rely on people to understand you and have empathy for you in order to feel like you're not alone. You're not alone. There are people out here that are going through what you've gone through, and they've had it worse and they've done it better. You just have to get comfortable with this loneliness. Become its best friend. Have loneliness become your best friend. Immerse yourself in this loneliness, and in doing so, you'll develop focus and you'll create a passion out of this time alone. I have some of the most creative moments when I'm all alone, when there's no noise, no one talking to me, where I'm just here making videos and there's not a single noise. Those are moments where I'm most creative, where I'm most driven, where I'm most focused, where I'm most turned on. Use it, leverage it. You have loneliness, you get to leverage it. Don't look at it as loneliness. Look at it as I have so much time to do anything I want, to study whatever I want, to develop a creative hobby, discover my passion, get good at something. Because you're alone. No, you have no friends. No one's around you. Leverage it. You can leverage anything that you have. If you're alone, don't let it be a crutch. Don't let it be the thing that hinders you. Say, because I'm alone, I have time. And since I have time and no distractions, that means I can focus. That means I can literally get good at anything in a month or 2 or 3 months if I just keep putting all my time towards that thing. If you are ambitious, here's the next one. If you are ambitious but you have not taken action, you need to understand why you haven't taken action. Or is it lack of information? Fear of failure? Fear of judgment? What is it? If you're ambitious and you want something, why haven't you started? Do you not possess the information? If that's the case, go on YouTube, start doing research now. Once you've acquired the information, you need to do something with that information. If you've already acquired the information, then that means you're either afraid of failing, or I can't think of any other reason why. There must be fear of failure. If you have the information that you need, but you aren't taking action, it's because you're afraid of failure. So now, what is the fear of failure? Is it the fear that you're going to be homeless and broke? Or is it the fear of what people will think of you once you're homeless and broke? If it's the fear of being homeless and broke, can you get a job? If you spend all day going to every freaking store asking if they're hiring, do you think you can land a job? The likelihood is yes. Yes, you can. So even if you fail, you can always go back and get a job. Now, if you're afraid of failure because you're afraid of people and what they're going to say about you, one, they're not thinking of you as much as you think they are. I promise. When I failed and I had no money and I was this big social media influencer, and I had to go back and get jobs, people would ask me what happened. Because I was with the startup, it was a relatively big brand. They did a good job. The owner did a great job at building the reputation of the brand. I had to go back to the gym job that I once worked at. I trained a girl to sell, and she was now the manager. I had to come back. She was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I said, "I need a job. Can I scrub your toilets?" She was laughing. She's like, "Shh, be quiet. You have money." And I said, "No, I don't. Do you have a job for me? I'll work part time." It was so embarrassing. And after experiencing that, spending days on end knocking, going like, "Hey, are you guys hiring? Here's my resume. You guys hiring? You guys hiring?" I realized they didn't care. They have their own lives, their own bills, their own troubles, their own traumas. Like, they don't care that I failed. Who cares? If anything, it makes them more comfortable now because I'm just like them. They're like, "Oh, he's not so special after all. You're just like me." And now if anything, they like you because you guys are the same. I went back to a gym job and I hated it. I was being taught how to sell by a dude that was younger than me. He's like, "Yeah, you look like you got a lot of ambition, bro. You make a lot of money here." And he showed me a pay stub of like $1,000 he made that month. And I said, "Wow." When I was working with the company, I was closing like $20,000 deals, $50,000 deals. We saw like 76K in a span of like 4, 5, 6 days. And I'm just sitting there and I had to take it. I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, "Well, that's so cool, bro. That's cool." And then I went back to the gym job and I started selling. I'm like, okay, back to what I know how to do. Cold calls. Cold calls. I've done the script thousands of times. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Got them in the gym, gave them a tour, sold the gym, sold personal training. Everyone's like, "How'd you sell personal training?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I just did it." I had to go back to that. With all the experience and the knowledge and the skills I acquired to do that and get taught by people who just were always working 9 to 5. And I had to remind myself that in those moments, I was not better than anyone. And I'm not that good because if I was that good, I wouldn't be working at 9 to 5. And those were some of the most humiliating, humbling moments I've ever felt. And I'm telling you now, after someone that's failed, that has went back to jobs, it's not that bad. They don't think about you as much as you think they do. They judged me when I left abruptly because the company that I was working for finally part ways and gave me some money. I quit out of nowhere, and they all were talking a lot of smack. "He's so irresponsible. Wow, how unresponsible." And they'll never get it. And the amount of energy and effort that it would take me to try to convince those people or help or allow those people to understand why I just abruptly left. Like, the moment the money was deposited into my account, I left. No 2 weeks notice. I just left. Never showed up again. Never responded to a single text. Nothing. And everyone was saying, "He's so irresponsible." There was someone at the gym that I got really close with, and I unfollowed him because during the time, sure, we were buddies, but afterwards, I didn't really want to be anything like him. So I just unfollowed him, and then I remember he sends me a text. He goes, "You have so much wisdom, brother, but the thing is, your wisdom lacks a backbone. Always remember that integrity will always be the number one thing." And I just read it. I'm like, okay. And I just had to suck it up. I'm like, whatever. Which is why I've gotten to a point where I don't care what people have to say about me. Because I know me. Like, it's okay. You can talk all the smack you want, but you would not have done what I did. You know why? Because you would never take the risk that I took. You want security, you want a 9 to 5, you want to work. You'll never take the risk. You'll never get it. You'll never dream this big. I don't care. So if you're ambitious and you haven't taken action, you just have to go. Screw what people think. Even if you fail and you go back to working, no one gives a damn because you're not the main point of conversation. The world doesn't revolve around you. Like, they're not thinking of you that much as you may think. They're not talking that much smack behind your back. When I was working there, no one was like, "Oh my gosh, Thompson was with this big company and now he's here. Oh my gosh, what a loser." They didn't want to be at work. They came in, didn't want to be at work, clocked in, and just their day-to-days. They didn't give a damn about me. They hated their lives. They don't have time to talk smack about me. They hate their lives. They're consumed with their problems. So just go. If it's like an information study, if you have the information, stop fearing. Next one, if you want more for your life, understand that the problem we have is we have one foot in this world where we're just humans and we're a speck and we're chained down by these limitations. And we also have a foot here where we're directly connected to whatever's above us. I call it God. It helps me understand. And so we're completely boundless and we're infinite and we can do anything, create anything, be anything, all while having to face the fact that we are limited. If you want more for life, it's fine. But I would argue that you should just stop desiring. Now, listen to me. I was at the gym. I'll tell you why. I was at the gym and I was having a conversation. It was the first day of the new year. One of my buddies, he's like 50 years old. He comes, he's like, "What's up, man? Nice seeing you. What's the goal for this year?" I sat there and I thought for a second. I said, "That's a tough question." And I looked at him. And I said, "My goal this year is to not have any goals." He looked at me a little bit. He smirked. He said, "No goals, just be." I'm like, "Yeah, I just want to be. I don't want any goals." He was like, "Who taught you that?" He said, "Boy, if I knew that at your age, if I knew that at 24, I'd be a monster." He shook my hand. He's like, "That's what I'm talking about." Now, we talked about it. The thing about humans is we always want to become. In order to become, there must be a desire to acquire, to achieve, to obtain, to be, come. There has to be a desire for more. So when you desire more, you take action and you grow. Growth is directly correspondent with the desire. And so growth is predicated on desire. That's why we become. Because we grow. When we grow, we become. So that means unless you have a desire, you feel like you will never grow. And this is how people get caught up in this circle, this hamster wheel of more. It's called the disease of more. Want 1 million, get 5. Want 5, get 10. Want 10, get 20. Want 20, got 20, want 100 million. Got one business, let me open more. Got one car, let me get all of them. Got one watch, I want all of them. There is power in simplicity. This is why I'm a big fan of Stoicism and Taoism, even Buddhism. I like studying these philosophies because I've detached. And it took years. Now, I'm not saying money isn't important to me. It sure is. I want it because I want to be able to take care of people that I care about and be that man, because I remember my father not being able to do that. So I want to do better than him so that I can honor his last name. That's how I will honor his last name, by being nothing like him. I don't hate my father. I'm blessed. But I don't want to be anything like him. And in order for me to respect him and honor his bloodline that he's entrusted to me, I will be the person that becomes better than him. Nothing like him. That's how I honor him. And that's how I will honor my children and keep this last name going. It took years. I want money. Who doesn't? But strength comes when you are numb. A lot of money, numb. No money, numb. Because as long as you have a heartbeat, you'll be okay. And this is the single most important framework that I use to this day that helps me in moments where I'm lost, where I'm just consumed and I'm just like, damn, I feel like I have nothing, or I just want more for my life. Let's say I don't have money and I feel terrible. I'll ask myself, would I rather take this, no money, or would I rather die tomorrow? It's always, I'd rather deal with what I'm currently going through. Like, I'll never do I ever choose die tomorrow. If my car just crashed, okay, stressful. Would I rather take this or die tomorrow? Oh shoot, I'd rather crash the car. No matter what you're going through, ask yourself, would you rather take that, what you're going through now, or would you die tomorrow? For the most part, you'll choose this. You'll choose just whatever you're going through. You won't choose die tomorrow, which tells you the most important thing and the most valuable thing to you is breath. That, being alive, having a chance to fight, to do better. Just another opportunity, another chance. That's all you ever want. And that's all that we have is an opportunity until we die. And then if we're dead sooner than later, it doesn't matter anyways. We're dead. Not the money, not the car, not the watches, not what people think about us, not the business we built, not the books we wrote, not the videos we made. We're dead. So you have time and opportunity. No matter how bad it gets, if you choose that you'd rather be alive and deal with what you're going through as opposed to dying, you know what's truly important. So the thing with desiring more is if you can detach from this desire for money, then you don't give a value to this thing. So if you detach from a car emblem, a Mercedes emblem, what people think about you, a social media following number, there is no value in it, and you can just obtain it for the sake of obtaining it, not because you value it. I know so many people that would show off their car emblem subliminally because they think it's valuable. They think people care. They're not in my life anymore, and I'm so blessed. Like I can't describe how happy I am that they're not in my life. They would show off their damn designer. They wear all these designer clothes because they value it, because they think other people value it. It doesn't matter. The car doesn't matter. The clothes, the money doesn't matter. The shoes don't matter. The freaking expensive cologne doesn't matter. It's the value you attach to it. You can take the same t-shirt, and if I just slap a Louis Vuitton logo here, it will increase the value of it. It's just a logo. Doesn't matter. Now let's say you've got to a point where money doesn't matter, but you simply want to obtain it for the sake of obtaining it. You've discovered an incredible strength. Because for the majority of people, they will get money because they value money. Once they get money, money defines them. Like they are the money. They are the number in their bank account, which means they will be their material possessions. They will be the car, the house. They will be the clothes they wear. And if all that is stripped from them, they are no one. They feel worthless. The strength you possess, if you can detach from all of this and not value it, but just obtain it, is even if it's stripped from you, you know you. I made a promise to myself, and I promise you guys, as I keep making videos and you guys rock with me and you guys see the growth, when I obtain $1 million, I will tell you, because you will see a YouTube title talking about how I got to $1 million. And I will teach you guys everything I did up until that point. And I promise you guys, I will still be wearing the same clothes. And I will still be driving the same 2009 Toyota Venza with $1 million in my account. I will not buy any luxurious car. If I do, it's simply as a tax write-off to increase my deductions. I've made a promise to myself that once I have the money, I will not purchase anything. I will wear the same black, white, gray thermals, black, white, gray t-shirts. That's it. No fancy car, no jewelry, nothing. I promised myself that. And that's a word I'll even keep to you guys, to show you guys that I do not ask you to do anything that I don't do. I've detached. If I have the means to buy a 2024 murdered out Escalade V series right now, I will keep it in my garage, let it collect dust. I want to drive it. I'd still drive my 2009 Toyota Camry or my 2009 Toyota Venza. And I am willing to bet my life behind that statement. I've told that to someone before, and I remember he said, "We'll see when you get the money." And in my head, I'm like, it makes sense why he thinks that I'll be like him. He's just projecting because he's like that. Be the person that obtains so much wealth and money and wears the t-shirt and drives the old car. Don't be the kid that obtains money and flashes it and drives the fancy stuff, because if that's stripped from you, you'd be nothing. Those people have a weakness. Their weakness is their value is predicated on their material possessions. They're nothing without that loud car. They're nothing without that designer emblem. They're nothing without those fancy clothes. They're nothing. They can never go to a party and just look bummy. They care too much about what people think. So detach, and you will unlock a magnificent strength. So if you desire more, it's good to desire more. It's good. I'm not against it. Yes, have goals. Go, go, go. But do not let these goals define you. Do not add value to the goals to where it becomes you. You are not your goals. You are not your accomplishments. You are not your material possessions. You are not the house. You are not what's in your bank account. You are not your clothes. You are you without any of those things. Who are you? Your heart. How you treat humans. How you help others. Doesn't mean you stop. I'm not telling you to go and disappear from civilization, go to the ancient mountains of Tibet and be one with the Tao and train with the monks. I'm not telling you to do that. Unless that's what you want to do, then do it. I'm telling you to do whatever works for you, but this is what worked for me. And what worked for me was because I have a desire for money, because I have a goal, I just found strength in detaching from that and not giving it value. It doesn't make me. I've shared so many times on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I've shared how much money I have. I've put screenshots and I'm like, this is all I have. And I share this with you because I'm human and I don't really care. I shared it. I don't care. I made videos where I was broke, where I had nothing. I've shared it all because I created a value. I have a foundation. And what I believe to be valuable for me is who I am, my heart, what I'm able to give to you, how I can serve you. That's all. And I've discovered an immense strength in that. An immense amount of strength. Especially in moments where I didn't have money, because since I was so numb and detached, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Even when I got money, I was so numb and detached where I said, it doesn't even matter. I've known people that cared about what people had to say until they got money. Then they stopped caring. Way to go. You don't care now because you have money. Now let's see if all that's taken from you. Now, then we'll see. So be the person that beats them to that. Don't even care. Don't value anything. And when you're a multi-millionaire, wear the same black, white, gray t-shirts. Don't show off your flashy clothes. Don't show off your vacations. Don't show off your car. Nothing. Drive a bummy car. Wear bummy clothes. And then one day when people judge you off how you look, the car you drive, you know what you get to tell them? You get to say this. You get to say, hey, don't judge me off my clothes or the car I drive. Judge me off my bank account. You want to see it? And then you pull up that number and you show them 7 to 8 digits, 9 digits. And they'll be like, damn. And they'll respect you even more because you have all the means in the world to purchase any piece of clothing you want, any car you want, any jewelry you want. But instead, you'd rather just wear a t-shirt. Be that person. Unless you want the flashy lifestyle to impress others, then whatever. Do what works for you. If you are craving love, if you are right now in your life, you are craving love and you want a partner and you want someone to love you and care for you and understand you, it's because you think that a companion is going to be the person that makes you feel whole. I want you to think of someone that loves you as a cherry on top. They don't make up the entire cake. They're just the cherry on top to make life a little sweeter. That's what a partner is. That's what love is. Especially external love coming from an outside source. The most important love is the love you can give to yourself. And now, this doesn't mean you can look in the mirror, look at yourself and say, wow, I am full of love. I love myself. And by the way, you can do this if your life is going good and you're taking action. But if you are completely screwed up in the head and you're not in the best shape and you're not a great person and there's a lot of flaws, do not try to create a delusion when you look in the mirror and you try to say, I love you, to try to justify your own inadequacy. You don't do that because then you embark on a path that's completely desolate. You avoid that at all costs. You avoid the path of trying to justify your own pathological behaviors. Yes? So, if you are craving love and you want love, it's because you haven't given it to yourself. You don't love yourself. And it's probably because you're not the type of person that you want to be. So how could someone else love you? Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very carefully. Men, young men, if you want a 10 out of 10 woman, and you are a 2 out of 10 man, you either need to lower your standards and accept a 2 out of 10 woman, or you need to raise your standards and you need to be a 10 out of 10 man. Women, if you watch my videos, ladies, if you are a 2 out of 10 woman and you want a 10 out of 10 man, you either need to lower your standards, accept a 2 out of 10 man, or you need to be a woman that's 10 out of 10. Love yourself, and that's how others will love you. To love yourself, become better. To become better, you have to grow. To grow, you have to acknowledge all the screwed up parts of you, and you have to ask, is there anything that I can do about this? Because it seems like these parts of me are extremely messed up and chaotic. Is there anything that I can do? At all? Anything? And once you can answer that, and you can devise a plan, and you can say, oh my gosh, okay. My life is not going how I want it to. This seems to be a pickle. I am not where I want to be. I am mentally screwed up. I am emotionally unstable. I am out of shape, and I can't even feel my soul or my spirit. I'm just lost. What? Okay, my gosh. You have to be alone. You have to just screw the friends, screw the party, screw the clubbing. Stop. You need to enter solitude and isolation, and you need to figure this out. You need to say, okay, what the heck can I do about this? Is there anything I can do about this? Like at all right now? And you need to figure it out. And you need to figure it out soon. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, you're screwed. If you want to love yourself, you have to become someone that's capable of loving yourself. If you want love from others, you have to be someone that's already loving of yourself. That you respect yourself, that when you look in the mirror, you're like, damn, I'm proud of you. Damn, I like you. You are one bad MF. You have to look in the mirror and say, damn, that's what I'm talking about. I did that. Look at me. I picked myself from the ground up. I'm becoming better. As you become better, you stop becoming miserable. If you're the worst version of yourself and you can't control that misery and you can't contain that misery, what'll happen is you will give that misery to others. You are morally obligated to do the right thing, and you are morally obligated to grow and do better. Because if you don't, the consequence of not wanting to grow and not wanting to do better is that you end up bitter and resentful because you're so pissed off every time you look in the mirror. Because you know how much you could have grown, but you didn't. And because you didn't grow, you just look at yourself and you acknowledge all the inadequacies. And it gets built up, and it's this anguish, and you get angry at yourself. And you need to get rid of this anger. And instead of doing something productive with this built up energy, what you do is you just push that on others. So now your misery is spreading like a bacteria, like a plague, like a virus to the world, to other people. Avoid that at all costs. Avoid the path of misery, because that is a dark, dark path. That is a path where it is very hard to come back from that. Because there's a lot of people on the internet like that already. Their misery gets pushed onto others because they can't do anything to change. So if you're miserable right now, how can you expect love? How can you receive love? You need to transition misery to gratitude, to where you look at yourself and you're like, I'm so grateful for who I am. So proud, so happy that I made it this far. I am nice. I like myself. And once you like yourself, you rid yourself of misery. And because you like yourself and you're proud of yourself and you encourage yourself and you love yourself, you give that love to others. And as you give, you receive. To obtain love, to get love, if you're craving love, you have to give first. Why would you ever want to receive something without giving first? That's selfish. And that's completely illogical. Be the person that gives. And even better, don't even expect love in return. And you'll just see how magnificently life works, to where life just pushes love towards you. Love from people, supporters, even a partner and a companion. But you have to rid yourself of misery. And you have to love yourself so that you can give that love to others. Otherwise, you'll be spreading a plague, a bacteria. It'll be like mold. It compounds. Misery compounds. So does love. Love compounds. And the more you really like yourself, the brighter your smile, the more full your eyes look, the more energy you have, the more people feel it, the more they want to talk to you, the more they want to hug you and they want to have conversations with you because they feel the love radiating. Okay? Next one, if you have no support, this one's pretty big for me because when I was in the military and I was going through phases where I felt like I didn't belong there and I want more for my life, and the only family I had was my brother, my mother, and my father at the time. And I told them about what I wanted to do. They didn't support me because their amount of fear was so powerful that they imposed their will onto me as though I should live according to what they think is best. I get it. And you just have to take it one step at a time. You have to literally accept the fact that while you're losing, no one is going to support you or understand you. But when you start winning, everyone will come and bombard you with support, and you have to be numb to that. You cannot predicate your ability to take action and have it be contingent on whether or not you have support. If you predicate your ability to take action on whether or not you have support, you're done for. And if the ability to take action is contingent on that, then what happens when there's no support? You're not always going to have it. And when you do, you cherish it. The ones that are by your side, they'll stick through and they got you. Like, you cherish them. You hold them close. Like, if you have support right now, you freaking run to that person, you hug them, and you say, thank you for always being there for me, for always supporting me. Because there were moments where I needed it. There were moments in my life where I just needed someone to believe in me because I was starting to lose belief in myself. I was such a loser. I sucked at everything. I was just so bad at everything. I was such a failure. And I just needed someone to be there and say, I believe in you. You know, that's all I needed at the time. So if you don't have that, you just have to sum up every ounce of strength and courage you have. It'll take everything out of you to just walk outside the door. It'll take everything out of you to just get out of bed. It'll take everything out of you to just find meaning in existence. You don't even want to live anymore. You have no one in your corner. You're fighting a losing battle all alone. And then every time you get punched and every time something hurtles at you, you just have to take it and no one's there to catch you and you just have to accept it. I don't know any other way because I just had to accept it. And when I was able to accept it for long enough and develop strength and courage to get me through those moments where I got momentum and I could just go without needing support, support came. Backup came. I don't know how backup came, but backup came. Once I survived those moments alone, then by the miraculous work of God, I was given companions and people in my life that cheered me on, that rooted for me, that wanted to see me win, that had my best interest. But I understood at that moment that I had to go through that alone so that I can make sure no one ever feels like that. So that for the rest of my life, I will always be there for people. I will always support them. I will always encourage them. I will never turn a blind eye to them. If they need me, I will always reach my hand out and pull them out of the depths of hell, even if it means I get burnt alive. I had to go through those moments. I see now that those moments were important for me because if I didn't go through those moments, I would not be able to live a life where I care about people. But because I didn't have that, that's why I care so much. Because because I don't want anyone to feel that way. No one should feel that way where they have no support, when no one's rooting them on, where they're on the battlefield all alone. No one should feel alone or be alone or have no support. And I wish I could give you more practical steps, but I can't. You have to fight and you have to push through. Like, these phases are not easy, but if you can make it past this battlefield, it'll get better. And you'll make it past. You have time. You have to take it one day at a time. When I felt alone and I had no support, I would listen to people like Alex Hormozy. And I would listen to some of the stories where he left Baltimore and he started up his own gym and he was sleeping on the floor and he had nobody, and it made me feel less alone. And though it wasn't direct support, it was emotional support. It was like a bandage to my heart. I would listen to some entrepreneurs and I would listen to their stories and I'd feel less alone. I'd look at pictures of Elon Musk during his early stages where he looked out of shape. I would look at Jeff Bezos when he was in the office with his little computer. I would listen to Steve Jobs in his early stages and I'd feel less alone. I found people on the internet. I listened to their stories and their stories made me feel less alone, and their stories were the freaking medicine that my soul needed at that time to get me through. If anyone here wants a story, listen to Alex Hormozy. Like, listen to him, listen to all the podcasts he's been on. Listen to his stories, listen to his videos. He has inspired me in ways that you cannot imagine. And in the darkest moments of my life where I just had no aim or direction, it was his story that kept me alive. And I needed that. Because the caffeine wasn't working and nothing was working. And I felt like such a loser. So, there's that if you have no support. And if you're currently going through a lot of pain, you just have to leverage that pain. Pain is an energy. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. Use it. Get angry that you keep feeling this pain. Late at night when no one's watching in your room, cry, bawl your eyes out, look up to the sky and try to look for hope. And wake up the next day knowing that no one will ever know that you were just crying and you were on your knees. You just have to leverage it. This is the same thing as if you feel alone or if you have no support. You just have to take it one step at a time. Time will heal every wound. Time has not been defeated yet. Time is undefeated. Time takes everyone out, and time heals every wound. She is undefeated. So I dare you to try her. I dare you to give time the opportunity to do what she does best, which is rip away any pain to where it's just a scar. On a long enough time horizon, that pain just becomes a memory. You just have to survive that long. You have to be able to live and just make it through. That's it. It's not going to be easy, but it's worth the fight. And once you get past it, you'll look back on moments where it was so unbearable that you wanted to just not be alive. And you'll be like, you'll smile. Now that I've made it past those moments, I'll look back on those years where I didn't have money, where I was working for someone else, where the people that were around me hated me and they didn't want to be around me. And I was such a flawed man. I was just such a bad person, such a bad business partner, such a bad employee, such a bad partner, such a bad brother. I look back on those moments now where I would sleep at the warehouse and I lost weight, and I didn't have money, and I felt like a failure, and I had to go back to the jobs, and I had to work a 9 to 5. I look back on those moments and I smile, and I'm so grateful now that I got to experience that, which tells you that no matter what you go through on a long enough time horizon, you'll look back and you'll just be grateful that you got to feel that. In the moment, it was terrible, but I got to feel that. So if you're going through pain, you just have to use what you have. If you have anger, it's a potent feel. Use it. Get angry. It'll get you through. It'll help you break barriers and push boundaries. But there comes a time when you have momentum that you have to just free yourself of the anger. When my aunt didn't believe in me and said that I was just like my father for dreaming so big, I was so angry. I was so angry. Like, it was so bad. And I held that grudge for a long time. And it was the reason I was able to get through. But I had to let go of it because I got better. When you get better, you just do it for the sake of doing it. You get better for the sake of getting better. You keep climbing for the sake of climbing. Winners don't see a peak because every climb is the peak, and the real mountain has no peak. And winners just love the climb. So I just do it for the sake of doing it. I obtain money and I try to get money for the sake of obtaining money. Though I wanted to take care of my family, and I don't want it for the car. I don't want it for anything. I don't want it for the clothes to show off. I want it to have a sigh of relief knowing that people that I love are taken care of. I want it so that when I look in the mirror, I can see a man that took care of his family, and that I can see a man that was capable of obtaining something that not a lot of people are capable of obtaining in large lump sums, so that I can just feel a little bit better about myself knowing that I was able to pull it. I was able to pull through. I was able to do it, you know. I hope I covered enough topics in this video. I try my best to cover as many as I can. Use it. Rewatch it if you have to. Memorize it. Just go. Please don't let your story become untold. I can only imagine the world of pain you felt. Please try. I'm begging you to just try. I'm not telling you to be a winner, to be famous, to be a millionaire. I'm begging you to just try. Please, just. And if you can try long enough, I'm telling you, you will see what life will give you. I'm begging you, because I've been there. And all I had to do was try, and life gave it to me. I'm begging you to try. And you'll see. You will see. Just try for long enough. That's how. That's how you'll change your life. That's how you'll make 2025 your year.